This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? I didn't get to do a show last night, but that's okay. I'm here with my brother Tony Crow. We'll talk a little bit about last night, and then, we're going to talk about, we're going to start off just talking about the young guys, and in between, we'll talk about last night. We'll do a little bit of Losers Lounge stuff, and you know how that goes. We really want to talk about the young guys, though. 3 of them. Trae Young, if you get the cover. Some of y'all might not get the cover. But anyway, let me get to my man Tony Crow, and, so we can start breaking this one down. We're going to start with Kolek, obviously, because Tyler Kolek is doing this thing out there, man. Tony, what's poppin', my brother? How you feeling? I know you got an early morning, you know what I mean? And, so we're gonna knock this one out the box, you dig? But what's good with you, bro? How you feeling?
No doubt, man. I'm good to be here, man. Back on the Losers Lounge, the Nothing But Knicks Network. You know what I mean? Let's get it, and of course it's fitting. We got to talk about the trades. You know what I mean?
Gotta talk about the young guys because they're putting in major work for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And definitely kudos to Mike Brown. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be. It's already a lot of talk just about what Mike Brown is doing and what Tom Thibodeau didn't do. And I get it. I definitely understand the reason behind the talk. You know what I mean? So, what are you going to say? But you got guys like Tyler Kolek, 12.7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, 6.3 assists per game, and 1 steal in the last 3 games. Right? In the last 3 games, major, that's production. That's a lot of production. And not just that, but he's also giving you crunch time minutes, right? And producing in the crunch, in the clutch, whatever you want to say. But he's producing, and he's not afraid of the moment. We were just talking about it last night. Defense has been one of the issues with Tyler Kolek, right? Last night, Mike Brown, when doing offensive, defensive substitutions, left Tyler Kolek out there on the floor. What was your take from that, Tony?
I mean, number one, it's telling. One of my takes is a message to Jalen Brunson, right? A message to Jalen Brunson, because you're taking Brunson out, you're taking Cat out for defensive substitutions, and you leaving this man Kolek out on the floor. Like, it's a boost of confidence for Kolek and his defensive effort and his defensive IQ, because that makes up for his defensive limitations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so again, it's a confidence booster for Kolek, but it's also people say he don't hold Brunson accountable. Well, sometimes he don't gotta yell at him or scream at him or call him out publicly to hold him accountable. I'm sure Brunson got that message.
Right. Do you think Mike Brown is meaning to send a message to Brunson about his defense by, or do you think he's just, his thought process is more like, listen, this is who's going to get it done defensively for me in this moment. So this is who I'm going to play. And a byproduct of that is a message to Brunson. You know what I'm saying? And are you saying that you think Brunson should take a message from it? That's what I'm saying.
I think he 100% should to take a message from it, whether it be intentional on Mike Brown's part or not. I think it is a message to Jalen Brunson that he has to, there's no way Brunson got pride. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you watch the podcast, if you watch him talk, he's very humble, but he's very prideful, and he remembers things that slight him because he'll bring it up years later
Years
or
later.
whenever the opportunity arises. That hey,
Right.
I didn't forget. You know what I mean? So and I love it. You know what I mean? I don't mean this as no knock, no disrespect. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a great message for Kolek to be out there and give him some more confidence. You know what I mean? Like especially since you spoke about him publicly. You know what I mean? You spoke about him being able to be better, and this is why having a career night. You know what I mean? So
Right.
hey,
Right.
I
Right.
love
Right.
it.
Right.
I love it. I love it
Right.
on all aspects.
Right.
And shout out to Kolek for you know what I mean? This wasn't his greatest game, like out of the last three or last however many, you know what I mean? But he was out there when it mattered.
Yeah. I mean, last night, Tyler Kolek, what did he give you last night? Not many points.
Yeah, not many
Right?
points.
He didn't give you many points last night. But still, his play was effective. Right?
Control
18
the
minutes.
pace.
18 minutes. Gave you 2 points, 2 assists. And yet he was still out there coming down the stretch of the basketball game. That tells you how much Mike Brown trusts him. He was still out on the floor down the stretch of the game. You know what I mean? I think that tells you everything. That tells you everything. But I mean, you look at him in the last 3 games: 12.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists. Those are major numbers. You know what I mean? For a second-year player playing on a championship contending team. You know what I mean? Those are definitely major numbers. Where do you see this going, though? And I think that's the question that everyone's asking. Like, where is this going?
When we're whole, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, where's it going when we're whole?
Good problems to have,
Definitely.
tough decisions Mike Brown to make,
Definitely.
and also more options for Mike Brown. So now if a guy don't have it, you don't have to wait for him to get hot.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got a guy that you could come in and spell some guys, or maybe a guy just needs a rest. You got a guy that could come in and spell some guys. Like it's good problems to have. I'm not here to speculate on who outplays who and whose role diminishes. I'll tell you this: Deuce hasn't missed much time, so I expect Deuce's rotation and role to stay the same. Shamit missed a lot of time, and he should be back. But I think he has to get eased into his role
Right.
and earn his way back to where he was, if that's where he could get to. And I don't
Right.
even mean as a starter. I just mean as a role.
Right.
Like maybe as a starter if that's what Mike Brown sees, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about just as a role. So he got the uphill battle, Shamit coming in.
Yeah. I definitely agree there. He's got enough, and now he's got another. It's possibly another contender. For Shamit's role. Sean said there's going to be a 10-man rotation. That's where it's going.
That's fine.
We'll see. And
That's
it could
fine.
be.
We got more than
It
10
could
guys
be.
though.
Yeah. So, well, who's the 10?
We know the starting 5. We got Mitch. We
Right?
got Clarkson. We got Deuce. We got Kolek. You could throw Party in the mix. You could throw Diawara in the mix. You know what I mean?
Because it's
Like
definitely not Yabba Dabba Doo.
you could throw
He's out of there. He's out of there, in my
McCullough
opinion.
in the
He's
mix.
out of there. McCullar might be in the mix. So you know, so you know it's Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG, Cat. You know that, right? And then, like you're saying, it's Tyler, Deuce, Jordan Clarkson, Mitch.
And those other guys could fight for the rotation 10th man. You know what I mean?
Right,
Who's gonna get it
right,
if it's 10?
right. You know who's in that spot, and it could be Mo in that spot. Mo fits in that spot.
And Shamit, we didn't name Shamit.
And
So that
Shamit,
would be
right. So right, and Shamit. You got Shamit. You know what I mean? You know, one of those guards are out. Right now, you don't have to worry about it because Shamit's not there. So if Deuce comes back, you still, you're there. Shamit's not there right now. One of those guards is out. And that's gonna be the question. Which one? Which one
and
is it?
if McCullough shows that he could play the Josh Hart role as power forward, you know what I mean? Like, because we lack in size. He ain't he wouldn't be a big power forward. Obviously, he'd be undersized too.
Be
But
undersized.
he's taller than you know what I mean? Like, he's taller than the rest of these guards.
Yeah. Yeah. That it's definitely a good problem to have. You know what I'm saying? But it's what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Who goes to the bench? Because, right now, McCullough did it one time. Somebody's sleeping. Oh, this might be the dude on the phone sleeping, snoring in my ear. Bro, you snoring in my ear. I'm gonna get to you, bro. I'm gonna get to you.
Is that Isaiah?
Nah, it's not Isaiah. I'm gonna get to you, bro. Don't fall asleep on me, baby. You guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. My man caught a nap. I got you. Very, very soon. All right. Let me get to my man so he don't fall asleep. All right, let me get to him. Caller, you live. Name me where you're from, please.
What's up? Yo, it's Dorkosaurus Rex from Brooklyn. How y'all doing?
Well, I'm good, baby. How you feeling? Tired. You must be tired.
Well, actually, I got diagnosed with kidney stones earlier today, but I'm still good. I'm fine,
man.
So.
Well, hopefully you be good, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I have a good justification for being tired at least.
Okay. Understood.
But
Understood.
I'm really excited because not only to the point of the name of your program today and the stuff you guys are hinting at, but I think that we're seeing the vision of the front office come together for this team. Because I think people don't understand that our core seven, not only are they extremely good, people say, I think it's fair to say the Knicks have probably one of the best starting fives in basketball, right? That's not a crazy statement. You throw in Deuce, Mitch, that's a very, very core 6'7", right?
Right.
But to keep those guys here, you have to spend a lot of money. So what's the way to make the roster work and keep it, long-term financially soluble? You need to get some young guys. Right? And for so long, like when they were looking for a new coach, they said, we want a coach that's going to be good at player development. Y'all remember in the offseason when they were talking about that? And I think a lot of people don't remember, but for example, when Mike Brown went to the finals the first time as head coach, yes, partially it was LeBron, but additionally, it was also a young, from that year, 42 draft pick named Daniel Boobie Gibson that he trusted to take the final shots of Game 6 over a struggling 3 for 12 LeBron to get him there. And this kid had like 6 of 6 from 3 in that game in the ECF to get him to the finals the first time as head coach. And earlier on in the season, I was like, man, like I was thinking this dude was like Black Tibbs, basically. That he was here just to be like a patsy, like just to play the same role, basically. But as the season has evolved and, as injuries have happened, he's been willing to throw these guys out there and give them real chances. And most importantly, allow them opportunities to play through mistakes. And I think this Kevin McCullar game is a perfect example because nobody disagrees he had a great game. Like everybody agrees, but he set 2 moving screens. He had like 4 turnovers, 5 fouls, whatever it was, but he was still very impactful and still overall a net positive.
Yeah.
And that to me is like such an important takeaway because yes, he made rookie mistakes, but he also helped us win that game. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it really, I think, vindicates the front office for picking these guys because 3 months ago, people were saying this is the worst drafting and scouting department in sports. That all these guys is bombs and they should work for UPS and ship them out to China for this vet and that vet and Malcolm Brogdon and Jose Alvarado. Well, some of these guys can play basketball, it turns out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now it's looking like, okay, you have Mitch, Deuce. These were both drafted here, late second round, right? Tyler Kolek, 34. McCullar, 56. 40, 58. We're getting real rotational NBA players late in the second round. And these guys are ready to contribute. And for me, it vindicates the entire strategy. And one of my favorite things that I look to as an example of all this is, so Peter Patton, right? He came here. All of a sudden, Josh Hart starts hitting 40-foot threes. Mitchell Robinson starts hitting his free throws, right?
Uh-huh.
But if he was just brought here as a shooting coach, he wouldn't be here. He was brought here primarily as a young development coach, a youth player development. That was his job in Chicago, and that's his job here. Now, it just so happens that while he's helping, Kevin McCullar with his shot, he also is helping Josh Hart, and he's also helping Mitch. So that, to me, is such a good example because you see how changing to this kind of like long-term player development-oriented focus, it also helps the veterans that's been here for a while. It makes everybody better.
Right.
And Josh Hart had a quote after that Minnesota game where he's like, yo, you young players, you have to lift us up, and you have to hold us accountable. And you have to go out there and play with confidence when your number is called. And you see that. You literally see with your own 2 eyes how that's uplifting the team and getting us more wins right now. And while we're winning more games, building us up more depth game by game.
No doubt.
So by the time we get to April, if we continue on this track, bro, we're looking at a real juggernaut here. Like, we're looking at a team with the depth to maybe even have more depth than OKC. Which who would have thought that was possible for the Knicks this season at the beginning of the year, you know? So I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more happy with like that we're starting to see this vision take place and we're starting to see these young guys build up Knicks culture right here and develop and get us wins at the same time.
Yeah.
Like we could be the most exciting, deepest, youngest, most energetic, most uplifting team in the NBA. Going down this path, like even more than the Rockets or all these other teams that we've always, again, I'll end my play with this. For example, that Pacers game, right? I think people don't appreciate how significant that was. Because how did we lose to the Pacers? They had more depth than us, and they ran us out the gym, right? Well, what happened this year? We went to OKC, we were missing players, and we out-depthed them. And we ran them out of their gym. And imagine, like, telling us that, like, let's say 2023, when we just didn't have the depth it felt like to compete with them or that they were willing to use. Well, we went to their gym and we had more depth than them and ran them off their home court. That's like poetic justice. That's coming full circle.
Yeah.
So for me, these things are falling into place in such a great and exciting way. I'm just like, you can't help but be.
Yeah,
You know?
I hear you, man. And when Leon Rose first got here, he was trading down, right? And everybody was, why is he trading down? You know what I mean? He's trading down, getting low first-round draft picks, even when we had something higher, second-round draft picks. And what the Knicks have been proving over the years is that they are very good at recognizing talent with these lower picks so that, they can utilize those higher picks to make other moves and grab talent from the lower picks, and it's been successful for this team. You know what I mean?
I just don't know how you can't be excited seeing, like, again, Tyler Kolek 2 months ago was not an NBA player to 99% of the Knicks fan base. And I think it makes you look at the other names that maybe people shelved or said, oh, this guy's a bum or this guy's that. Maybe he can play if you put him into the right situation. Who knows,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
That's just so exciting to think that we can just grow wings out of nowhere on our bench. I mean, from that one game against, who was it that we played? The Hawks. We have more depth as a team because of that one game. In one game, we increased our depth. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's definitely a beautiful thing to see, man. It's a beautiful thing to see.
I mean, coming from Tibbs, man, to this in 1 year, that's an incredible story.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Tibbs may not have played these guys. We don't, I'm just focused on Mike Brown and what Mike Brown is doing. You know what I mean? Everybody knows I'm not going to bash Tibbs because I think he did a good job while he was.
Well,
here.
I'm not trying to kick his back in, but looking at how we got here, I think you got to acknowledge the context. And to me, it's very uplifting because look, Tibbs had the option of playing these guys. Maybe he would have went into his bench instead of playing a Landry Shamet along right. He would have also given these guys an opportunity. Maybe we make the finals. Maybe he's still the coach. Who knows?
I mean, McCullar Jr. was hurt for most of the year, and Kolek got a little bit of burn last year.
It's not wrong, but at the same time, there still is a world where maybe Kolek, you throw him out against the Pacers, and he gives you that game against the ECF. That Pacers game that he gave us this year. Who knows? Maybe he gives us one win, which is all we really needed.
Maybe, but maybe he wasn't ready, and maybe it took.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
yeah,
it's hard to say.
Both possible.
Yeah, it's hard to say because if Tibbs was here, let's put it like this: how you would really know if Tibbs was here, let's say half of this season and he didn't play him, and then Mike Brown came in and started playing them, and they did this, then you would say, then that would be the obvious answer. It's hard to say year by year because you don't know what the development was like over the off season and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
but I understand what you're saying.
Also, for example, they only hired young player development staff, like 2 or 3 months ago. So a full year after they drafted everybody from last year, they hired all this, Billy Lange and all these guys. So that infrastructure wasn't even there last year, and it was only here, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Maybe. And maybe it wasn't there because of Tibbs too. So it's hard to say, right? Maybe Tibbs wanted his guys there. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to say. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, this developmental team is obviously doing a good job.
100%, man.
Yeah,
and it's just it just makes you feel like we're building a culture and an organization where everybody's hungry, everybody's getting better all the time. There's internal development for every minute that's going out there. Like, you have to fight and compete and earn your minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really healthy culture, man. That's really something.
And Mike Brown is doing a good job of finding small pieces of minutes for guys. I will say that. He's doing a really good job finding small pieces of minutes, which I will admit, Tibbs wouldn't have done that. Right, he's finding little pieces, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, that where these guys could play. You know what I'm saying?
But play 16 minutes. I mean, Tibbs did that too, though.
Yeah. What'd you say, Tony?
No, I was saying start a guy, but he gets 16 minutes. But Tibbs actually did that too.
Yeah.
You see, Jericho Sims start, but end up with 14 minutes. See,
right.
So he's done that just to get the game started.
Yeah. But
Mike Brown did it, but he would yank them if they made one mistake, or he would. Okay, now you go from playing 0 minutes to play 40 minutes. Sometimes you would see it happen, like when Precious Achiuwa had to fill in for people 2 seasons ago. He went from playing 10 minutes to here. Now you play 50 minutes.
So here's what we'll look to see, right? Because right now guys are playing because we got a lot of people injured. Let's see what happens when these guys get back and how much, hopefully Tyler Kolek is still playing. Let's see if Mo is playing. Let's see if McCullar is playing.
Well, I think, for example, people are looking at Deuce as like Deuce and Kolek are going to fight for minutes. I think it benefits both of them because until now, people were trying to pigeonhole Deuce into the backup PG role. That's not his role. That's not his specialty.
That's not who he is.
He's not a ball handler. He can, but is that his best attribute? No. He's an off-ball 3-and-D guy, specialist. That's what he is. He's an elite at that, And if you have Kolek out there doing that, so he doesn't have to be worried about facilitating and passing the ball around and getting guys open, and he can focus on what he's good at, and Kolek can focus on what he's good at, and that duo is very complementary. I think Shamet might be the odd man out, personally, between those two.
Yeah.
Instead Shaman than Clarkson.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Clarkson got a
Clark
leg up
Clarkson is
because
different because he just goes and gets
was
buckets, you know.
game.
But again, if you know, I put it to you like this: like, let's say you have a tough game, like what was it, the Pacers game, right?
Uh-huh.
So you can put in Kolek, you can put in Shaman. Shaman can come and hit a few threes. Okay, so what? You know what I mean? Like, unless he gets white hot, it's not going to change the game. But Kolek can come in and change the game for others. You see what I'm saying? That's
He
different
does.
than just a guy coming in and getting shots, you know?
Right. No, I agree with you. And you know, we'll see where this leaves Shaman when he comes back. You know.
I mean, this is champagne problems, bro. These are problems we dreamed of having last year.
Exactly. We dreamed of having last year because we didn't have much of a bench last year. As much as people, want to say we did, we really didn't have much of a bench last year. You know, we have a plethora of guys this year. It's a great problem to have. But my man, I appreciate your time. Appreciate your call. Wishing you the best of health.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for a great show. Appreciate you letting me have the platform.
Yes, sir.
No soda, man. Don't drink no soda.
Yeah. Believe me, I learned.
All right. Have a good one. Happy holidays. Yeah, we know this conversation about Tibbs is going to be ongoing throughout the season, especially as much as the young guys are contributing right now. You know what I mean? It's going to be that way. You know what I mean? Nothing you can do about it. I want to talk about McCullar a little bit because he had a really, last night's game. I loved the game he had last night. You know what I'm saying? He really hooped last night. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. You know what I mean? And Mike Brown planned to play him, right? But didn't, I think he said he had him on his minutes chart, for a few minutes in the first half or something like that. And then, he started hooping. And he's like, okay, I need to play this dude. I need to continue to play him. Right? And he ends up playing. How many minutes did he play last night?
24 or 29. I think it was 24.
Let me see. Yeah, like 20-something minutes last night. He ends up playing. You know what I'm saying? And he played some minutes in the clutch for offensive, defensive substitutions.
He did.
He played 23 minutes and 29 seconds last night.
24 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. More minutes than the most minutes he's played. Was it the most, or did he play 22 minutes one game? Well, it still would be the most. I think he played like 22 minutes one game last year.
And I think he scored in this game more than he had in his career.
Yeah.
Collected.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he shot the ball extremely well. He was 4 for 7 from the field. He's 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. He's 2 for 5 from the free throw line, but, I'm positive he can shoot free throws. You know what I mean? Just, all around, just a very, very good game. And the hustle, off the charts.
Who's that last caller? What was his name?
I forgot his name.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
He number one, there's a lot of clippable quotes in there. But one of the things he said was about Mike Brown leaving him in the game. Those 2 offensive fouls on the blocking fouls, they actually came at crucial moments too. And Mike Brown let him play through those moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely something I could have seen him getting pulled last year immediately after.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you with that. You know what I'm saying? Mike Brown definitely has a longer leash with these guys. Knicks Fan Nation said the team is good. Brown is doing what we wanted Tibbs to do. We have our 2 stars. And on any given night, one of our bench players can surprise the other team's defensive plans. Last night was Kevin McCullar Jr. Yeah, he definitely came in and disrupted some things last night. You know what I'm saying? And, maybe even put some pressure on some other players. You know what I mean? Now, last season, McCullar Jr. was injured most of the season. You know what I mean? But and he even says, this year he feels like it's his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Because he was injured so much last year and didn't really get a chance to burn. You know what I mean? But I was definitely impressed with him. I like his defense, like his hustle. Wasn't afraid to let go of the ball. That's that's good stuff. Mr. Benjamin, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
What's good, Sammy, Tony? How you guys doing, man?
Good, man. Good, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for taking the call. Yeah, man. What a development, man. I don't think anybody, I don't want to make too much of it. It's one game, I will say that. But like the last caller said, we've always thought of when we were in our, struggling. We always looked at those teams that seem to draft and develop their own players.
Right.
And we go back to Mitch and Deuce and RJ. Now, point guard Kolek and McCullar and Diawara, 40. I don't want to lose him in this mix either. To grab a lot of those players in the second round, that's a testament to Leon Rose and his scouting department, the rest of the management. Even Dolan, letting those guys do what they got to do, not meddling. And man, it's just awesome to see, man. It really is. I'm very proud of this team. I think most of Knicks Nation should be very pleased with what our forecast is going to look in the next few years, right? I personally don't think this is a finals or bust year, personally. I think this group has like a 3-year core, and now with the development of these young players, God forbid, we don't see the end goal, which is a chip. At least you have some young players now where if you have to make tough decisions,
right,
it may make those decisions a little more digestible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
That's a major part of this too. It's like we have options now. We don't have to rush into a trade. You know what I mean? Like the Giannis and the whatever name you want to put up there. This development kind of puts a halt, in my opinion. Now those guys can still be flipped. We've seen crazy things in the NBA, but man, I'm just so content with where this organization is, opposed to, like all three of us have said, the last 20 years. And even though we have some small pockets of success, nothing really felt like this, where we can contend for a chip. And we're seeing some of these young players blossom within, in front of us, like from Kolek to McCullar. Even Diawara now is flashing major, major potential. And I know he's not getting a lot of minutes now, but having a wing on our roster, that is, to me, he looks like he's 6'10". Like he just looks very big on TV, and he's athletic, and he can run, he can defend, and if he ever gets his offense correct, you have another member of Wingstop for a cheap contract.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
I mean, right now, I love the position that we're in. You know what I'm saying? To have young guys that were growing and developing, and then to have more veteran guys that can take control of the games when you need it. You know what I'm saying? And you have confidence in these guys coming off the bench when you need them to come off the bench. And like you said, it gives us room to be able to make trades. And as the league sees these young guys play, they're like, oh, maybe we can pull this guy. Maybe we can pull that guy. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely gives the Knicks leverage in a lot of areas. And it's setting us up for long-term success, not just, to win a couple of seasons and then boom, you're done. No, it's setting us up for long-term success.
And Tony and Sim, I'm not going to do the comparison. I noticed among Knicks Nation right now, there's a lot of discourse between Tibbs and Brown, which I understand why people are doing it, but to me, it doesn't really matter at this junction. Right? Brown is our coach.
Right.
And Tibbs did a great job. Two things can be true. Tibbs brought us here, and maybe Brown is the one to bring us over the top.
Hopefully.
And Hopefully. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not. But I like what I'm seeing so far in his tenure.
Exactly.
Short tenure.
So far, he's doing a great job. So.
Yes, and then last point, and I'll let you guys go. 2 points. So, I've heard a lot of discourse with the Brunson Towns thing, like they never really could feed off each other. But, I don't think there's much we could do about that. To me, Cat plays well with Tyler. I know I mentioned it in another show earlier with Tony and the Queen. I think Kolek, he looks players for their shots, and it's fine. Those two can still coexist. I may not look as pretty as Kobe and Shaq, but still think we have enough talent. And the last point, I don't think Kolek should lose any minutes when those two come back, Shamet and Deuce.
Yeah.
I think he needs to see the floor because all season, what were people complaining about? We don't have another ball handler.
Right.
We need somebody to set up the offense. We're talking about Ben Simmons and Brogdon and whoever else, Ty Jones. And for Tyler to be doing this, I don't think he should sit the bench at all. If anything, I think Sham is going to lose some minutes. I know he's a favorite of Brown. He doesn't. Let me not say he does not. What he offers is a duplicate to me of what Deuce and what Jordan Clarkson can offer. He's a better POA than Clarkson. Clarkson can make some shots too, and he's been proving himself his weight in gold so far.
Yeah.
This last maybe since the Cup games, he's been on a tear.
He's been on a little time.
But what I want to say is, it's just a great time to be a Knicks fan, and Tony and Sim, y'all enjoy y'all evening. I'll listen off here.
Appreciate you, brother. Always.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. Yes, sir. I mean, I think everybody likes what's happening right now. Everybody does. Shout out to Ron from Still Knicks fans. He said, "What's good, family? Salute to the chat. Salute to Tony and Sim. I love what I'm seeing from our Knicks. Just win, baby." And that's where we at, man. Right now, let's, win. Let me get to a couple of super chats, and then we'll get to this Losers Lounge stuff, and then come back and do a quick talk about Mo. You know what I'm saying? First of all, well, I'll get to that one next, because we're going to talk about Mo. Parrish Duggar, thank you for the super chat. He said Indy and OKC played 11 guys to go hard all game and made the finals. He's preparing to play 11. Yes, Kolek should close on D for JB since he can for health. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, there came a point in time when Mike Brown cut the rotation down, and now, you know what I mean, he's expanded it out of necessity. Not really expanded the number of players out of necessity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys played last night. So it's not like he really expanded it to, he played 9 guys last night. Now, he's figuring out maybe there's 3 other guys that can get some burn. Let's see what happens when these other 2 come back, and then see where we're at. You know what I mean? See what his decisions are. Parrish Duggar again says 7-man interchangeable rolls off the bench is the plan. Let's see. Anything to those? Anything you want to say to those comments, Tone?
I think 7-man interchangeable rolls off the bench. I think that's right there. What Parrish is saying. 7, 8-man rotation. 9 or 10 rotate based off of necessity, based off of need. We see Huck Party is played very sparingly, right? He's only played when foul trouble or Mitch is out or Cat is out. You know what I mean? Like, it's very rare that we're whole and he gets minutes. You know what I mean? So he's one of those guys that'll be in and out. And he's not necessarily a versatile enough to play multiple positions because that always helps you get a shot.
Right.
Pardon me.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. I do think Tyler's in there though. He brings too much to the table, and Brown has used him in so many different roles, like closing down the stretch or whatever, playing alongside Brunson. He's got too many windows to play Kolek, and based off a need of a second ball handler.
Yeah.
So Kolek's gonna play.
Yeah. Okay. Jason Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. He said, Diawara is the wild card in my opinion. He looks like he's 6'10". He just needs to refine his offense, but that defense and athleticism is there. He can defend. He can be a wing stop. Mo's been playing minutes, right? Rookie minutes this year. He's been playing 10 minutes a game the last 3 games. He's averaging 4.3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He's actually shooting in those 3 games like 40% from the 3-point line or something like that. Played 16 minutes last night as a starter. He's started a few games this year. I think he's taken those Yabusele minutes. I don't think he's going to give them up. He's just more active than Yabusele. You know what I mean? He plays with more confidence than Yabusele. You know what I mean? And he's got more of a future with the Knicks than Yabusele does, obviously. And I think
let's not forget he jumpstart Dadier too.
He jumped Dadier.
Dadier was getting looks earlier in the year.
Yep.
Before Diawara was.
Yep. He jumped Dadier. You know what I'm saying? I think when the team is fully healthy, Josh Hart comes back, everyone's back, he's going to go back to, he may go back to not getting minutes, or he may get, a couple of minutes off the bench. 2-3 minutes a game or 4 minutes a game or something like that.
One thing that has to be encouraging about Mike Brown is, you seen what he did with McCullar, right? He said he was on the minutes chart for a certain amount, you know what I mean? But he played his way into more minutes. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's always a good thing. Like Mo could come in for his scheduled little 2-minute break for somebody and play his way into playing a 6-minute stretch. You know what I mean? A 5-minute stretch, and then play his way into getting brought in the second half.
Right.
So you never know, but kudos to Mike Brown because he'll give you that opportunity to extend what was projected on your minutes chart.
Yeah, exactly. Knicks fan nation 1127. He said, Knicks nation, why people in the fan base treating Pacome like he's the second coming of Kevin Knox? Well, I believe Pacome has star quality. I kind of thought that about Kevin Knox too. Just not strong or mature enough for the NBA as of yet, but has skills.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
I'm happy that Dadier is getting the rookie treatment or the second year guy treatment, as opposed to with Knox getting the full thrown out there, thrown to the wolves, no type of development. Like I think this is gonna help Dadier more than had we just played him, especially if you want to compare him in the same aspect that we played Kevin Knox. Because to me, that was the detriment for Kevin Knox. He came in playing heavy minutes, playing a bigger role than he was supposed to play. You know what I mean? Put up some decent numbers as a rookie, but the expectation for growth killed him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had no chance. Once they saw he wasn't gonna progress at the rate and speed that a lot of people wanted. I like the slow pace and his growing pains that he's going through.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Fred said Knox was set back when he got Julius and Mook. That took Knox out of the loop. I mean, to me, if you can ball, you can ball. If you were a better hooper than them dudes, then
and those guys were all 4s. Knox was a 3 at that time.
Yeah, and where is he now? He still ain't hooping. So, just saying. You know what I mean? I think it was more about Knox's heart than than anything. The kid was talented. There's no doubt about it, that. You know what I mean? He was a talented player. I think it was more about his heart. But Mo, you know what I mean? I think Mo has the energy. He's got the heart. You know, can he get that offensive game more defined? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get to some Losers Lounge stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Because I know Tony got to get to sleep.
Yeah, I got like 20 minutes max.
Okay. Try to knock out some Losers Lounge stuff. Oh, this is Dogosaurus Rex is the one who called in earlier.
Oh, yeah, that was all right.
Yeah. 6 straight losses. This is the Atlanta Hawks fans right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right. 6 straight losses. Can I be real? I used to stick by Trey, but homie Mike got to go. Maybe it's his beard. I don't know. Since his Adidas split, he really ain't been productive.
I'm gonna call this comment "Gotta be the shoes." I don't know, man. I mean, they have been a disappointment. They was one of my dark horses coming into the year. They seemingly play better without Trey. The fact that they have an extended Trey may be a looming thing to where, you know, I know that don't look well. You don't extend me. Now y'all look good without me. Now I come back and we losing and I'm trying to find my way. You know what I mean? It's like piling on.
Right.
Would not be surprised if Trey is moved by the deadline. But I would be surprised as well because I've tried to look around. It's not many teams that really, really need him. Like need is a perfect fit for him, I should say.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting. For sure.
Him for Jado. I'm throwing that out there right now.
Him for who?
Ja Morant.
Oh, huh. I could see that. I don't know how good that is for Ja to be in Atlanta, but you know what I mean. Let's see. I don't know. Piccolo 692 said the biggest mistake of the Hawks organization drafting Trey over Luka.
I never really got that either at the time. Especially because they gave up assets too, right?
I think so.
They gave up assets.
I think so.
I was like, that don't really make sense.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. And I only grabbed a couple of these, Tony, because I knew you had to.
No doubt.
KG Beat said it sucks worse when we're supposed to be good. At least the sorry teams know they're sorry. You know, it's crazy because the Hawks, you know, a couple of years ago, you know, they was in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? And people thought, wow, you know, this team has the potential to do something. And then, you know, now you see
for years to come.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now you see where they are. You know. I think I did that one. Can we just fully commit to a rebuild now? You know, teams are, you know, players are they're ready to rebuild. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it that bad? They're above 500, right?
Nah, they're not above 500.
Oh, they're under 500.
They're under 5. They came into the game last night 15-17, I think.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, fight your way out.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. You know, we'll get back to the Knicks with this one. So the 6'8" center. Talk about Okongwu said getting bullied by OG time and again, painful to watch. Now, you know, he was knocking down threes last night. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, OG and Mike Brown, you know, was talking about it. If OG decides to be a bully every single night, the guy can be an all-star. Right? He can be an all-star if he decides to bully every single night. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that Mike Brown is putting this out to him. You know what I'm saying? Is continuously putting this in his ear, putting this in his head. Like, you know, you can be an all-star if you play a bully game, and not just a bully game as far as physically, but up here too, and understand that most guys aren't going to be as strong as you. You can do what you want. You know what I mean? You know. So that being said, let's take a listen to Mike Brown. You know, and listen to his post-game interview if you haven't listened to it from last night, and then we'll get up out of here. All right, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is Mike Brown.
You know, I thought our young guys stepped up. You know, Mo hadn't played a lot of minutes this year, but, you know, he ended up playing a little over 16 tonight, and I thought he was really good in those 16 minutes, especially starting a game on the road for us. You know, obviously, Kevin was huge for us tonight. We threw him out there and put him on a lot of different guys. You know, he had to guard Trey for a while, and you talk about guarding an all-star when you played in the G League the whole year. On top of that, playing almost 24 minutes. Just a heck of a job by him. He was our defensive player of the game. He had a couple of verticalities that just were beautiful. You know, if you go to Webster Dictionary, you'll be able to see a couple of those plays under verticality. He was awesome tonight. You know, obviously, Jalen, 34 points. Man, OG was decisive tonight. You know, when he got the ball, he shot it or he snap drove and he made plays. And you talk about plays at the end of the game. First of all, he knocks down his free throws, but secondly, he comes up with the biggest steal of the game. He could have easily gotten defensive player of the game, and even McHale. Both those guys were pretty good defensively. We did not do a good job in transition, and we kept sending them to the free throw line, and you know, that's where we struggled the most during the course of the game. But you know, 23 second chance points. Kat and Mitch and Kevin were a monster, as well as OG on the offensive glass. 19 offensive rebounds, 23 second chance points. We needed every single one of those points tonight. You know, and on top of that, Kat getting a double-double. Just a good win. We know we need to defend better. We talked about coming out in the first quarter and trying to put our imprint on the game defensively, and we did a decent job with that. But we kept let our foot off the gas after that, and that's why it turned into a struggle.
How about just OG's played in those last 30 seconds, the putback and one, the steal. How about his just clutch play overall?
You know, and I've said this to him. OG is an all-star. If he wants to be, he at his size, his length, his strength, his athleticism, his feel, he can do so much out there. He just has to impose his will on the game every single play, and when he does, there's nothing in my opinion, he can't do. You know, he didn't shoot the ball well, but he hit 15 and 10. He had a double-double. And to me, that's more than attainable by him on a night-in, night-out basis if he imposes his will on the game like he did tonight. He was fabulous. And like you said, down the clutch, he was awesome. He was awesome.
So Tony, let me ask you: Do you believe that? Do you feel that way about OG?
I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to figure out how to bring that night in and night out. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many times we feel like, oh, all right, he's on his way. You know what I mean? He's
right.
Playing aggressive. Unfortunately, hamstring injury, got to work your way back to that. You know what I mean? But yeah, 100%. Like, he's stronger than most guys going to the basket. You know what I mean? He's like figuring out how to use his ability, use his attributes. What I really think he got to do to kind of really take the next step, because he has a solid little mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get to that more. If he could find those areas where he's money and have those spots. You know, they say get to your spot, get to your spot. Because he's big enough to shoot over most guys as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
it's really about imposing, like Mike Grier said, imposing his will. If he decides to do that, I think he becomes another tough cover.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Let's finish listening to Mike Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
This, Matt, you talked about sometimes you just throw a guy in who hasn't played and see what he's made of. I think something you said Steve Kerr used to do.
Yeah.
Is that the case with Kevin tonight, or did he know that he might get some minutes? I know guys are down, but was that part of the? Was there any mind games there with that?
No, I didn't. No, I don't know if he knew because I didn't tell him.
Yeah.
But he was scheduled on my little minute sheet. He was scheduled to come in at the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. I was going to throw him on Trey just to see what happens. Kev's a young, really good defender that has a great feel on both ends of the floor, but especially that end of the floor. And I wanted to give him a chance. And I threw him out there for a few minutes, and he was fantastic. So he just started earning more minutes. Now I didn't have him down for that many minutes, but he definitely earned those minutes as the game went along.
And just you talked about it a little bit to start games. You've been the one to call timeouts first. So the last few games, what are you seeing in these starts? That's is it a bunch of different things that's maybe wanting you to get the group together and get going? Because it does feel like after those timeouts, there's a little bit more pep in their step.
Yeah, we just we go over what we're supposed to be doing defensively. Obviously at shoot around, and for the most part it carries over. But there are times in the first quarter where it doesn't. And for me, you're going into a ball game. It shouldn't happen, that soon. Let's have some carryover for shoot around. Let's be physical without fouling, and let's play the way we're capable of playing the game. And sometimes we'll have a mental lapse here, a mental lapse there, and it's just my job to remind them.
Are you liking that? Like Kat and Jalen put up huge numbers today, but it just seems like every night there's somebody stepping up. Maybe it was Kevin today or OG or Tyler the other day, that you just seem to be finding people to step in and rise to the occasion.
Yeah, again, it's what having a team is about. I feel confident in all of our guys. And, Deuce has been out for a while. Landry's been out for a while. So we got to go to the next man. Josh is out now, with the ankle, so we got to go to the next man, and we just want guys to give us what they're capable of. We don't want them trying to go outside of their box, but we just want them to give us hard minutes for the time that they're on the floor, and I thought all of our guys did.
Cat 17 for 18 from the foul line.
Yeah.
Did you like his aggressiveness?
I loved it, and I talked to him in front of the team. Like when he screens and he rolls, we're a different team because the pressure that he puts on the defense on his roll is unbelievable. Because if he catches in the pocket, it's a wrap. He's getting fouled, or he's getting fouled and he's scoring because his momentum is going that way, and he's so quick. I mean, he's a monster when he rolls, and he did a great job of rolling tonight. But in the same breath, our guards did a great job of getting him the ball in the pocket.
That is one thing right there. That pick and roll, that pick and roll is they've been using it, and Tyler Kolek really does work that pick and roll with Cat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He really works that pick and roll with Cat, and I think I think that is like a big key. You know what I mean? To unlocking more of this offense. You know what I'm saying? Just unlock. Utilizing that pick and roll with Cat. And I think I seen Brunson do it last night too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that's a big key to unlocking his offense a little bit more. Utilizing that pick and roll.
Gotta do more of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just last thing before we get out of here. Paris Duggar, thank you for the super chat. He said, the biggest difference this year is the whole coaching staff is planning and coaching the whole team. Tibbs is great, but coached most of it by himself. And that could be true. I won't even argue with you. That could be true. You know what I'm saying? Could be very true. You know, we're going to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Big shout out to our young guys for coming through, man, and really hooping. You know what I'm saying? And really being that next man up.
Impacting the game.
Being that next man up. You know what I mean? It's obvious that these young guys, and when I'm saying put pressure, I'm not saying by taking minutes, but, you know, put some pressure on the veterans, you know, by, you know, challenging them in practice, making them have to work, which makes our veterans better. You know what I mean? You know, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. I love what I'm saying.
It's putting pressure on them in practice and relieving pressure during the game.
You know what I'm saying? What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? You know what I mean? Anyway, any last things before we get out of here, Tony, that you'd like to mention? Show coming up, anything?
Yeah, I got a show tomorrow, 6 maybe 6:30. We'll see. Check the notification, but I'm talking about the mentorship, right? And you know how, you know, Kolek got Brunson, seemingly McCullar got Josh Hart. We got OG and Diawara. I seen somebody in the chat today mention Mikal and Bacone Dadier, and I could see that being a good mentorship as well. Also, we got you know, Huck Porty and Mitch. So we're gonna talk about how, you know, all these guys got somebody under their wing that they could help speed the process and teach and learn. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Good, no doubt about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. We're gonna get up out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, I guess. A few hours left before you got to get back to work tomorrow. You know what I mean? And yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow night. We out of here. Spread love, baby. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.